Well, this actually, let's shuffle on. This is pretty much our last topic now, actually. And this is to do with Kathleen Kennedy revealing what was happening with Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, also Taika Waititi's trilogy. But also in all of that, we have people that have basically come out and said that the Kevin Feige stuff was never actually going to happen. I mean, Culture, there was part of the Star Wars Celebration interviews were Kathleen Kennedy basically came out and said, no, Kevin Feige was never confirmed. He was never actually going to do a Star Wars thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was actually during the IGN interview. Has anybody else seen that? Because I've been digging for it.
Yeah. Sort of interview I was referring to earlier. Yeah.
So as you walk through that interview, I mean, she is really upset. I think Tom described it better than anybody else. I mean, she was really pissed that somebody was asking her questions about this stuff.
Oh, she did not like those questions.
No, and so she's been caught in a lot of lies. Well, she was just recently caught in another one.
Well, this is a pretty big lie to say that Kevin Feige was never
Kevin
announced,
Feige, diehard Star Wars fan, owner of multiple Hasbro Jabba's sail barges, and president of Marvel Studios, will now be able to add Star Wars producer to his list of achievements.
That's right. With the close of the Skywalker saga, Kevin Feige is set to co-produce an upcoming Star Wars movie with Kathleen Kennedy in a new era of Star Wars storytelling.
Remember that, Kathy?
You know what's even better is I think Michael Waldron might have something to say about. They didn't even have an idea. They didn't even have a pitch, I think is what she said.
And it's literally on the Star Wars official channel. Yep. Nothing would go out there unless it's approved. It would be given to them from down on high. The fact that she's trying to deny it, what are you doing?
It's asinine.
What are you actually doing?
Yeah. Can you link me that clip, Nate?
Yeah, well, it would be.
I mean, you don't got to do it now. Just.
Absolutely. And so, Tom, what's this that you just sent as well? What's this?
This whole thing must be news to Michael Waldron because he was working on the script 10 months ago.
Tom, can you link me that too?
Yeah, no problem. But,
So this is why she's getting angry because she's caught gaslighting people.
Well, this is not the first time she's done it.
Caught. No, I know, but I mean, very
bluntly, get caught doing it. It was kind of the same thing during Rise of Skywalker when she got caught in all her bullshit. She's like, it's either she's lying or she has no friggin' clue what the hell's going on, or it's a mixture of both.
Well, I mean, she would know that she would know she's co-producing a film with Kevin Feige. Do you know what I mean? She would know. She would know she's co-producing a film with Kevin Feige. You can't.
Oh, she was throwing some shade. There is what she's doing. She is trying because this has been nothing but a thorn in her side since the moment it was announced. Because you know what that was? That was a vote of no confidence in her by Bob Iger.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's what that was.
So let's get someone else involved. See if they can make something
not
good.
Just somebody else involved. Arguably, the only person who could compete with her in the annals of time for most prolific producer. This and basically this was at a time when they were at their lowest point too, and this was a huge fu from Bob Iger to her. And so, believe you me, this is her saying, no, he didn't have anything to do with it. That's what that whole thing was about. She is trying to throw some major shade at Kevin Feige.
Even though they announced it. That's the thing which cracks me up the most, is that even though they announced it. But this goes
to be
into
fair,
something...
To be fair about that, because it's very easy to say that it was announced, but here's the thing. These projects, they were never formally announced. They were soft announced by way of leaks, straight from Lucasfilm to the industry trades, but not from the office of Disney and Bob Iger, which is part of the reason why Bob Chapek basically put out the memo. Kennedy, please freaking stop announcing all of these things just to show everyone what a goody two-shoes you are, because we have not approved of them, and we all look like idiots when the projects that you soft announce all inevitably fall apart.
Yeah. The funniest part of that interview was when she was talking about when she started off that part of the questions where she was like, all these shelved. Oh no, it's not shelved. Development takes a long time. Like, really?
It doesn't take that long. It does not take that
3
long.
years and we got nothing. from all your big announcements from 3 years ago. Come on, Kathy.
So, well, here's the interesting thing as well. I mean, it goes hand in hand with this, right? I think what they do, and I was saying this to Culture before we started the stream. I think what they do, right, is basically they announce the things like we know they soft announce them, whatever, and then for whatever reason they obviously fall apart and nothing gets happened, and then they just quietly phase them out. They just don't bother to say anything. And then they go, oh, it's not happening. What are you talking about? No. Because this is what we say about the Rian Johnson thing. Ryan and I talk all the time. Bearing in mind, the last stuff we heard about this officially was, yeah, we're all game. This is amazing. Yeah. We're full steam ahead. Ryan and I talk all the time. He is unbelievably busy, so we're not actively involved in anything at the moment because he's doing another one of the Glass Onion. It wasn't fucking heard of that long ago. He was in another one of the Glass Onion movies. And then God knows what else, Kathleen Kennedy said. But he really wants to step back into the space. And it's a big commitment of time. So that's really on him.
Oh, so they're passing the buck now. Back and forth.
It's everybody else's fault. She does that every time. It's not. I didn't do that. You know, these people are busy. You know, Taika's taking his time. She just actually said that Taika's really busy right now. He's taking his time with the script. He's a bit slow.
That's the other thing here. Taika's still working away. He's writing the script himself. Bearing in mind, Lucasfilm notorious for creative differences. He doesn't really want to bring others into that process, and I don't blame him. He has a very, very unique voice. So we want to protect that. And that's what he's doing. But we're going to make that one day. No, you're not. We'll hear it in like 3 years' time.
I honestly believe the Rian Johnson trilogy will happen first. And here's why I explain. Because she has an MO that has been spot on through this whole thing. She will bring in somebody who is hot. And then as soon as they have a moment of weakness, she will shit can them. She did it to
Colin Trevorrow, wasn't it?
Colin Trevorrow. She's done it to every single last one of them. Believe you me, Taika Waititi is not getting his movie. And I'll tell you another thing. The only reason I say that Rian Johnson might is because she stood behind him all the way through The Last Jedi, and he has had nothing but success since he left Star Wars. So believe it.
Yeah.
She will
even
wait
mentions the success. Him. She's like, he's making a Glass Onion movie. Put it up.
She actually wants him to come and make this. Yeah. She is the only one in the world who wants him to come and do this. Because even Rian Johnson's getting to that point where he's saying exactly what Script Doctor and I said it was going to happen. And we said in a couple of years from now, you're going to get an interview with Rian Johnson. And after he's done all these other things, he's going to say, yeah, the Star Wars thing, it just wasn't for me. I found myself getting more connected with my smaller pictures. And I'm just not going to do that. Eventually down the road, that's what he'll say. And that'll be the end of it. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. But they're just going to keep us dangling because Kathleen Kennedy wishes that she could have a Rian Johnson trilogy tomorrow.
She doesn't. I don't think she's got the kind of authority to move forward on a lot of these projects. I think that, it's all pie in the sky, get people jazzed up, and, maybe Daddy Iger will let me do one or two of these things. We don't know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I look at Star Wars 10 and I'm like, there is no audience will for consumption of that film.
That is one of her projects. Did you not tell from that interview? She has been nursing this along. That's the one Lindelof was working on.
I know. Yeah.
She said this has been in the works for 2 years. And this is why we've been hearing rumors about Rey coming back for 2 years, guys. She has been behind this thing the whole time. And what was 2 years ago? 2 years ago is when Chapek inserted her ass back into Star Wars.
Yeah. I honestly, I hope this movie happens.
And the Filoni thing went down and everything else.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, I hope
Can you
it
imagine
happens.
Rey.
I would love to just sit back and laugh at the box office numbers and whatever the budget is that they put into it.
$400 million. It's the most expensive Star Wars movie ever.
Well, I heard it's going to shoot more than the Skywalker Rise of Palpatine movie. So since that's still shooting to this day.
Look, Dial of Destiny is its own disaster. I mean, for Lucasfilm, Not for any other reason than I don't think it'll be able to perform at the box office well enough to make it profitable.
Which means he'll lose a Star Wars movie.
That's what I said. Yeah, like I think I even said it on your live stream. I was like, the only thing which is remotely appealing there is the James Mangold one set in the past, because it's James Mangold, and he is actually a good director and he is a good writer when he's allowed to do his own thing. He is good, but they're announcing him because they're preemptively going, Indiana Jones might be successful, so we'll announce that he's got a film just in case it's successful. And the moment it's not, which it won't be, because it can't be, because the money's not going to be there, because it can't be on that budget, then they'll go silence. Just like they did with Rian Johnson.
Because of scheduling conflicts or creative differences. It's going to be scheduling conflicts or creative differences. Same thing happened with D&D from Game of Thrones until that last season ended, and then boom, they got that Netflix deal, and the Star Wars thing was the Star Wars thing was gone.
The irony of that, Nick, is, and I know you know this, but the irony is that they rushed
script.
Yeah, that would be one of them.
Well, with the whole Damon Lindelof one, and they've been working, because I don't know who was working on it before him, but clearly this is a project they've been nursing along now for 2 years. Yeah. And this list keeps growing. There's ones that aren't even on the list here.
Yeah. There's like
we've learned more, right? at least of 2 more. And this is all the ones we don't know about, is just probably staggering. Because we just recently learned
the funny thing about the Damon Lindelof one, right, is that they lost 2 writers and gained 1 back.
Yeah.
So Stephen Knight's writing it, but they lost 2 writers for the film anyway.
Yeah.
You should update that, Tom, and repost it.
Well, I didn't even make this in the first place, but I should. And I did give credit to where I got it from on my original post. But David, we just recently learned David Gordon Green was up for a movie. And then all of a sudden when Halloween 3 tanked, guess what? He wasn't no more.
Yeah.
Sean Levy is another person who recently was said to have been in talks for a I said, well, we'll know if that was his idea or if it was a writing for hire deal when we see the movie, and if it says it was based on a story by Lindelof or not. We didn't even have to wait. We got the answer this weekend. That is the Rey project that she's been nursing along for 2 years. Like you just said, it doesn't matter how many writers and directors are going to end up on this thing by the end of the day. It'll probably happen, but this one has like a 50-50 shot at this point. The rest of them, I don't know. The Mandalorian one will happen, but I don't think Taika Waititi's is going to happen. I don't think that other one they just announced is going to happen.
No.
This is,
Well, think about all the Star Wars games that have been canceled too under Disney. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, like, wasn't there like a Vader or something game that was supposed to come out? Immortal.
That was VR. That was a VR game.
Did it come out?
There was also.
No, I'd never heard about it. So okay.
Well, the big one was an Amy Hennig written. I think it was Amy Hennig anyway. It was writing. It was like a level 31 or something like that. I can't
1313.
That's the one. Yeah, that was supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, the underground and on Coruscant, smugglers, bounty hunters, like
Adult.
Yep. And then as soon as Disney bought it, they boom trashed it. It's like, why would you do that? Idiots. So many fans were looking forward to this.
And then they released they released some previous stuff for it as well, and it looked pretty good.
Well. There was a trailer for it and everything.
Fucking idiots. Absolutely.